And once again, CQ, 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 every Tuesday. Just to remind you that I still know a little bit of the Morse code, but the Morse code has that wonderful CQ, which means, here I am. I'd like to talk to somebody. I'd like to connect with somebody. Nobody in particular. It's just if you're out there and if you can hear me, we'd like to talk to you because we would like, first of all, to find out more about you, more about your story. And then we'd like to tell some of our own stories and see if in the stories there is something that connects us, maybe connects us quite deeply, in fact, may connect us to the very depth of our being, and perhaps from a random CQ call, as we call it, in the radio business, in the ham radio business, a lifelong friendship commences and lasts forever. That's right. That's what we're about. Hey, Interesting Ideas is on the air. And we are continuing with just exactly that question. What are your 5 favorite words? And I've already given it away. Number 5. Has anybody ever told you you're amazing? Amazing. You are amazing. Well, let's talk about that and see perhaps what amazement you can bring into the world. I'm Stan Houston. The program is Interesting Ideas. We come your way from the company that will help you reach your audience using man's marketing media, the mass media that is now literally taking over the way we often connect with one another around the world. Regular radio, regular television is giving way to the digital universe of the internet and the World Wide Web of people who come together with their own radio station, their own television station, their own book publishing company, and their own way of reaching others. That's what we do, and I think we do it well. And this is our flagship program, and we're on the air. The program starts right now. I recently returned, as I told you, from a retreat, and one of the questions that came forward was Tony Dungy. Many of you have heard of him, a Super Bowl in America, big football coach, world-class player and coach, and now a broadcaster as well as a speaker and a writer and a man of deep Christian faith. And he told the story of when he was just 21 years of age. He worked under an extraordinary coach by the name of Chuck Noll. And he really was. And he won about 3 or 4 Super Bowls. But he was also a person who, the first thing he said to his young players is, remember, this is just football. It's just a game. There are much more important things in life than football. And Tony recalls that he had him assigned, Chuck had him assigned to an older player, a world-class player, who was also deep in faith and was the one who would play the same position. Tony had been a quarterback in college and a good one, and he thought he might be, but the Pittsburgh Steelers already had some great quarterbacks, so what is he going to do? Well, he lands up being not on offense, but on defense, and he is what is called a strong safety. That means he's the last person that can stop a touchdown, the person who can stop a big pass from being caught, or if someone gets away, you are the one that hopefully will be there to get them so that they don't score the touchdown, at least on that particular play. And he said that the man was very kind and very gracious to me, but every day he asked him this question: what are you reading, Tony? Well, he said, I didn't know what to talk about. Now, he was talking about anything, particularly maybe things of Scripture or the faith, but what are you reading, Tony? What are you reading today? What are you reading right now? What are you reading today? And I thought, what a great question. It's a question that I should ask myself. Am I reading today? Am I reading something today? Am I studying something today? Am I learning something today? What is it? What are you reading today? And so I share that as a little bit of perhaps leadership insight. By the way, if you are thinking of bringing on a new employee, a new colleague, that's a great question. Like I said, what are you reading today? And what are your 5 favorite words? Now, these aren't meant to be gotcha questions. You just ask them kindly, but it causes people to think and perhaps share much more of them than the prepared stuff that usually they got ready for to try and demonstrate that they can do the job or get the job. You'll find out more about them. What are your 5 favorite questions? What are your 5 favorite words? What would you like to know that you don't know now? What do you want to study someday? What do you want to become someday? That kind of thing in which we can connect on a human level, just not on a business and professional level. Now, there are people who really reject that. They say, no, 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 it's not about the job, it's not about the person, it's about what can they do. That's a point of view. And many people have it, and many people project it. I simply reject it. Okay? I reject their point of view. You hire the person. You don't hire the player. You don't hire the performance. That can always be duplicated. You hire the person and who they are and what they are and what they want to become, and deep inside what is really the thing that motivates them, inspires them, encourages them. What are some of the things they are afraid of? How can I help them be better? Perhaps not only as a person, but as a performer and as a employee or a colleague or a team member. There we go. Okay, my 5 favorite words. Do you remember them? Why should you care about remembering my words? But some of you might if you're paying attention. First of all, my first favorite word is impact. Hey, difference maker. Something happened, something moved, something changed, something got better because you were there. You had impact. Second word, mercy. That quality of deep compassion. The ability to forgive. The ability to know that we don't have to compete about everything. That we all make mistakes, we all fall down, and life is not always a contest, and it's not always a game, and you don't always have to win. Mercy in all of its qualities. Number 3, yes, and go through that. I like people who are yes men and women. Not that they are the kind of people who sell their souls and say whatever the boss or the authority says. These are people who know when to say yes, and they do. They have courage, they have creativity, they have boldness, and they enjoy moving on. And we gave the example, that just saying yes to an opportunity is very powerful. And I also, in another podcast, talked about the fact that that's a wonderful prayer, just to simply say yes to whatever is going on in the spirit, force, and field of your life. As you follow your faith, you are willing to say yes, which is what the story of the Virgin Mary in the Christmas story was all about. She said yes to what the angel said. You're going to go in for a big deal, little girl, little teenager. So here you go. God has in store for you something that's going to be incredibly amazing. but it's going to be something that's going to be very painful. And she said, yes. And of course, and we go to the G word. That's right, grateful. I'm grateful when you recommend me to others. Powerful word. Learn to say grateful a lot. And today, it's amazing. That's my fifth word. Has anyone ever said to you, that's amazing? Now, what it really means is it's something that is kind of awestruck. You know, wow, how did you do that? That's incredible. This is the expression that something has happened that is somewhat of a mystery. I don't understand it. How did you do that? Or as Mr. Spock's favorite word on Star Trek was fascinating. I don't know if he said amazing, but fascinating. It leaves people in kind of a wonderment, a sense of awe that you knew that, or you could do that, you know, that you could achieve that, you know. I went to one of the premier performances of Cirque du Soleil, you know, and you see those performers, you say, amazing, how do they do that? Well, in all kinds of things in life, I simply say to people, what can you do? What can you seek to do? First of all, when something is amazing, really let people know that you are amazed. I'm amazed at your kindness. You know, your loyalty is truly amazing. Your sense of purpose, I stand back in amazement. And in fact, oftentimes the writer of the story about Jesus said that what happened is that people saw what he did, and the word he used is a great radio broadcast term. They were amazed at it. And so one of the things that I'm seeking to do in my life and in my business is see that I can seek to really reward the amazing things that people do, and that I give thanks to them, and I let them know that they have been noticed. You know, you're truly amazing. You know, I stand back in amazement at what you've done. But at the same time, there's a part of me that says, in this world where amazement is appreciated and certainly needed, that wonderful term, amazing grace, the two words actually go together. In our world today, when someone is full of grace, it's amazing. When God gives something of grace, it's amazing. And that's the favorite song of millions of people around the world. And so my challenge very simply today on this Tuesday is start looking for things that you can say amazing. Start seeing things in what people do that you can thank them and commend them for the amazing thing they did. And also begin to say in your own mind and spirit, what could I do? How could I be different? How could I be creative? How could I be so kind that people are amazed? People are amazed at you and who you are. Hey, that's the deal for today. Word 5, amazing. And just let these thoughts sit on your head for a while and see what amazing things might happen for you, to you, and with you, and because of you today. Interesting ideas. I'm Stan Houston. We'll be right back to ask you if we can help you. We'll be back. if you'll pardon me, that a little touch of self-promotion. Some of the times, some of the things I've said and some of the things I've taught, I have been gratefully acknowledged with the word amazing. I remember one time when I actually put together a very unique way to build a business and shared this with people. It was the how to build your own starship enterprise, how to be an entrepreneur, to have your own enterprise. And I went through the 7 questions and the 7 steps you need to do to become a world-class entrepreneur. And one man who had truly been an entrepreneur and had truly done amazing things looked at what I had said, and he shook his head, and I said, uh-oh, I'm in trouble. Shook his head and said, Stan, this is amazing. You actually identified in simple words how I became a multimillionaire. I did, and I was smart, and I worked hard, and I suffered and struggled, but you have the pattern that I was following that I didn't even know. And it's simply called How to Build Your Own Starship Enterprise. If you'd like to know more about that, some of the things we'd like to do in our coaching, in our podcasting, and in our helping people, our goal is always that there will be something that is a little bit amazing in who we are and what we do, and we mean that for good. We're not in the business of shocking. We're in the business of being amazing, of being remarkable, of being memorable. And we want to thank you. You are amazing that you are kind enough and gracious enough to spend a few minutes on a regular basis talking with us, and we'd love to hear from you. StanHouston@gmail.com, StanHouston@gmail.com. Best and blessings, and may your day be close, and maybe real close, and maybe right on amazing sometime today. Bye for now.